I mean, he's so blatantly stupid. He's a punk, he's a dog, he's a pig, he's a con, a bull artist, a mutt who doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't do his homework, doesn't care, thinks he's gaming society, doesn't pay his taxes. He's an idiot. Colin Powell said it best. He's a national disaster. He's an embarrassment to this country. It makes me so angry that this country has gotten to this point, that this fool, this bozo, has wound up where he has.
So putting Deneiro down as an undecided. No. It was just 3 days ago that the Kelly file ran that video message from Robert Deneiro for the first time anywhere. And in just 72 hours, it has reached some 56 million people. One of those folks just happened to be Jon Voight, a well-known Hollywood actor and one of the town's most outspoken conservatives who had a message of his own for Mr. Deneiro. Trace Gallagher has the story. Trace?
Megan, the 54-second clip of Robert Deneiro going after Donald Trump was supposed to be part of a Get Out the Vote campaign video, but Deneiro's part didn't make the final cut. As you say, it did, however, make the final cut of the Kelly file on Friday night. And when it hit the Kelly file Facebook page, it caught like wildfire. 17.5 million views, nearly 500,000 reactions and comments. And by the time it was posted, reposted, and shared, it reached more than 56 million people. Here's another sample in case you missed it. Watch.
He talks how he wants to punch people in the face. Well, I'd like to punch him in the face. This is somebody that we want for president? I don't think so.
If you weren't counting earlier, Deneiro called Trump a dozen names, but Raging Bull got some pushback from Midnight Cowboy, with actor Jon Voight saying he was ashamed of Deneiro's comments and that Deneiro's rant was more damaging than what Donald Trump said to Billy Bush. Quoting here, "I am calling for all Trump supporters to express their outrage and anger against Deneiro and all Republican turncoats. Let Donald Trump know we are completely behind him, and may God give him the strength to continue his calling." Deneiro, who's in Dubai promoting his resort, both defended his comments and took a swipe at Jon Voight, quoting, "Voight is a nice guy, but he's delusional. The Republican Party has rationalized that his guy is sane, that this guy should be president. It's awful. They will self-destruct." Deneiro says you might not feel you can trust Hillary Clinton, but, quote, "she's a grown-up." Megan.
Trace, thanks. Joining me now with more, David Wohl. He's a Trump supporter and attorney out in California, Los Angeles, along with Crystal Ball, a Clinton supporter and senior fellow with the New Leaders Council. Great to see you both.
Great to see you, Megan.
So this got to be personally painful for you, David, to see, you know, I'm sure you admire Robert Deneiro because I think every man in America does. And yet there's a division here. There's a clear division among some of the Hollywood elites.
Well, you know, the same guy who gives us Taxi Driver and Goodfellas grabs his camcorder, goes into his basement, and shoots this defamatory, insulting, threatening selfie video, basically proving that he has Trump derangement syndrome, Megan. The Hollywood left can't stand the popularity that Donald Trump has attained over the past 6 months or so, and they can't stand the fact that their candidate is an awful candidate. Now, along comes Jon Voight, who I've met a couple times, Megan, at dinners in Santa Monica, attended heavily by conservatives in Hollywood, and believe you me, that number is growing. And he is an eloquent, powerful, strong, thoughtful man. He gave a speech at the end of one of them not long after Andrew Breitbart died, who was a friend of his. And he's an amazing guy. He's not over the top. He's not threatening. He just basically says, look, we have our point of view. You have yours. Lay off. Don't insult. Don't threaten. Get out of town.
Crystal?
Well, Megan, I'm a little confused because it seems to me like what Robert Deneiro was doing here is, you know, shooting from the hip, telling it like it is, speaking from the heart. And I thought the Trump people loved that stuff. So I don't understand the outcry. But I mean, seriously, his language is so tame in compared to what Trump himself says about Hillary Clinton, about immigrants.
What do you make of his argument,
Alicia
Crystal,
Machado,
that, you know, all men speak like this? This is what Trump's defenders are saying.
So, you know, I actually had a Trump defender tell me this today about my own husband, that he promises me that my own husband speaks like this when I'm not around. And I find it so deeply offensive, not only to me personally, but to men across the country. I mean, who are you to say this is what men are doing, every single man in the country? It's not true. Sure, are there men that talk like that? Of course. But to brag about sexual assault, this is something that all men do.
And to tell
I
our
don't
little
think
boys
so.
and girls that this is the
No.
norm.
To tell my
It's not
son
the right
that he's
messaging,
going to speak
David.
like that
I'll give
when he
David the
grows
final
up.
word on it.
I
Go ahead.
don't, Megan. I don't. I certainly don't talk that way. But I've heard it in locker rooms. I've heard it at parties. I've heard it in bars. I
We're
mean,
not
it's
voting for
something
those
that
people
takes
for
place.
president.
He apologized for it. Why
Gotta
doesn't
go.
De Niro get into his basement and shoot an apology video? That would take care of the whole problem.
Great debate, you guys. Good to see you. Up next, WikiLeaks.